Nakhane, I want to talk about music. Your mother, Notemba, brought a lot of music into the house. As I understand it, there was Xhosa music, there was Motown, and lots of good singers around you. What did you hear, and how did that shape where you've gone as a singer?
My mom and the sisters all sang in choirs.
Yes.
And I remember when I was very young, I used to go to choir practice, and I would just lie across their laps, like across the laps of 3 people. Mm-hmm. And I would just listen. She was an alto, so I'd mostly be hearing the altos. But I'd be hearing 60 voices in a room, and I'd fall asleep to it. It was incredibly... it was like a lullaby, man. People always ask me, how did you fall asleep to 60 people singing at the top of their voices? And I was like, I don't know, but for some reason I felt safe there. I don't know, maybe someone sang to me when I was in my mom's belly. But my family all sang, you know, and very well. And to this day, we're still a very competitive family when it comes to singing. My mom still sends me messages, voice notes on WhatsApp with her singing my songs.
Okay.
Telling me that she does it better. Which is not
Does
true.
she?
No! What? She would say she does, but I don't think she does.
But that's fascinating. So there's the choir on the one hand, then she's coming home with Marvin Gaye and other
oh my God, yeah.
piles of vinyl that you're starting to listen to and
Brooke Benton.
Did she ever, apart from sending you voice notes showing you how you should be singing your songs, how did she respond to your first music? I mean, what did she say?
My mom was always very supportive. I remember when I was in primary school and I had auditioned for a solo and I didn't get it. And I came home and was disappointed I didn't get the solo. And my mom was like, are you the best? I said, well, I believe I was the best. And she said, then you should have gotten it. Otherwise, you're going to quit. And then I was like, what? What do you mean? She said, and then she wrote a letter to the teacher, practically forcing the teacher to give me the solo. And the teacher was like...
Sorry, what did she say in the letter?
He sings in the best choir in the country.
Yes.
And he has the best voice in the school. You know that. Why are you not giving him the solo? The teacher asked to see her, and they had a meeting. The teacher was like, I can't give him the solo. My mom was like, well then, this is the end of the conversation. Yes. And I quit for 3 months. And then at the end, I ended up getting the solo. But for me, it was the most amazing moment of my life. I mean, it was problematic in the sense that, you know, you have to accept defeat, right? Yes. But it was also really incredible in how it made me see how much she believed in me and in my talent. You know, she never ever thought, I don't know, maybe you should try do this. She was just like, well, you're incredible. Yes. And go for it. You don't have to get this job right now. You know, do you want a guitar? Yes, I want a guitar. Let's go get you a guitar. Lessons? Yes, okay, let's go. And so she was always the kind of person who knew I'd be where I am right now. Always.
She would have had to defend you in a very different way, if indeed she did. One thing engaging with a choir mistress, quite another with what arose within Labour. How was she through that time?
Lovely. She was awesome. I mean, I remember I was in Germany, I was in Berlin, and I had a long conversation with her about this film. And all I got from my family in general was just love and support, which is why I think it gave me a lot of strength, you know? Yeah.
I'm struck by your earrings, and if you can just move your hand so we can see them nice and clearly. You've got a cross on your left, and then an African queen, if I'm describing it aptly, on the right.
Nefertiti, yeah.
Okay. Tell us, is the queen your mom in some way?
It's my grandmother.
Okay. Tell us about her.
There's a song in my album called Star Red, and my grandmother was the first person to ever defend me. Like, who loved me for no reason other than she just loved me. Now, some people love you because you, I don't know, because you're cute or you did something.
Yes.
As a child. My grandmother loved me because she just did.
Yes.
And she wanted nothing back, right? Because I had nothing to give her and she had nothing to give me but her love. So there was a certain level of purity in that love. And I've never, ever felt that kind of love before. And so I wrote a song for her, which is my favorite song on the album, called Star Red, because that was her nickname. And the album's dedicated to her, you know. She's my ancestor.
Family's more than immediate family, and community is a wider concept still. Are you at the moment in a situation where you're exiled from Alice and the world in which you grew up? Can you physically go back there?
Probably not. For a while.
And how does that feel?
Not nice. But okay, but survivable. You know? People... Home has always been a very fraught word for me and theme. I've never... How do I say this without hurting anyone? I just have to pull the bandage. I've never felt like I belong anywhere, really.
Yes.
You know? So, home was always in my mind, right? Because I was... My biological parents didn't raise me. My grandmother raised me for the first 5 years of my life, intermittently. And then I was adopted by my aunt, Notemba, and her husband, Ben, and then they became my parents.
Right.
But as an adopted kid, you sort of always like, but why wasn't... You're appreciative that you've been adopted, but there's always like this thing in the back of your mind that, you know, they didn't sire me. And so you start to build, I suppose, ways, you create ways to survive and to move on from day to day. And for me, that was always my mind, you know. I never needed anyone to keep me company. I was fine with my books and films and music because I love learning. I love knowledge.
So you're rootless, but with deep roots. That's quite complicated and sometimes I would think quite difficult.
A contradiction.
Yeah.
Yeah. My boyfriend said to me, you feel everything and you feel nothing all at once.
Yes.
Which is a difficult person to live with.
I want to talk to you about acting because originally with Nleba, you were invited to come and contribute the score.
Yes.
And then asked to audition, and then suddenly you are the central figure in a very, very powerful film. Next for acting, was this the role that you had to play and that's it? Or do you see that as a part of what you want to do going forward?
I'll do more acting. I'm just not in a rush to choose anything right now. At the moment, I'm really loving being on stage, playing the songs in my new album. Because it took me a long time to write those songs, and
yes.
I put everything in those songs, and I think I made a great album. Whether I act in the future, that all depends on the script. I mean, I've been sent scripts, and the feeling I got when I read the script for Nleba,
yes,
I want that feeling. Even if, and it doesn't have to be something that is mega serious. Even if it's the most ridiculous of comedies, I still want that gut thing, you know? And that's all I look for in my work, because it's the only place where I can exist by that, you know? Everything else around us is governed by rules.
Making music, I mean, you said of your first album, it was a critical success and a commercial failure.
Complete failure. Abject failure.
An abject failure, okay. Are you looking for a different balance? I mean, as you get older, as we all do you take a slightly different view and say, okay, well, this has also got to put some food on the table?
Unfortunately not. Someone said to me, why are you making these decisions? I said, because I have no because I don't know how to protect myself from myself, I guess. No self-preservation. That's the word I use.
Nakhane, we've certainly made the most of our time together. Many thanks for spending time with us on Under the Skin.
Thank you very much for having me.